Today, I really want to talk about the weather because it is something we all experience every single day, no matter where we live. When I wake up in the morning, one of the first things I notice is the weather. I look outside the window, I see the sky, and I immediately feel something. Sometimes the weather makes me feel happy, sometimes it makes me feel calm, and sometimes it makes me feel a little lazy. Weather affects our mood, our energy, and even our plans for the day. That is why talking about weather is such a common topic in daily conversations. People talk about it at home, at work, on the bus, and even with strangers.
I completely agree with you, Susan. The weather is something everyone can relate to, and it's often the easiest way to start a conversation. For example, when I meet someone new and I don't know what to say, I often talk about the weather. I might say, "It's very hot today," or "It looks like it might rain." These simple sentences help break the silence. Also, the weather changes how I feel physically. On hot days, I feel tired and slow. On cool days, I feel fresh and active. The weather really has a strong connection to our daily life and emotions.
That's so true, Mark. Let's talk about sunny weather first. When the sun is shining and the sky is clear, I usually feel more positive. I like to open the windows and let fresh air come inside the room. Sunny weather makes me want to go outside, take a walk, or sit in a park. I also notice that people smile more when the weather is nice. Streets look brighter, colors look stronger, and everything feels a little more alive. Even simple activities like drinking tea or coffee feel better when the sun is shining outside.
Sunny weather has a strong effect on me too, but sometimes it can be a little too much. If the sun is very strong and the temperature is high, I start feeling uncomfortable. I sweat easily and I feel like I have less energy. On very hot days, I prefer to stay indoors, drink cold water, and rest. Still, I understand why many people love sunny weather. It gives light, warmth, and a feeling of happiness. I think sunny days are perfect when the temperature is balanced, not too hot and not too cold.
Yes, balance is very important. Now, let's talk about rainy weather, because many people have mixed feelings about rain. Personally, I enjoy light rain. When it rains gently, I feel calm and relaxed. I like the sound of raindrops hitting the window or the roof. Rainy weather makes me want to slow down, read a book, or listen to soft music. However, when the rain is very heavy and lasts all day, it can feel a bit depressing. It becomes difficult to go outside, and everything feels wet and gloomy.
Rainy weather makes me feel different things depending on the situation. If I am at home and I don't need to go anywhere, I actually enjoy rain. It feels peaceful and the air feels cleaner. But if I have to travel or go to work, rain can be very annoying. Roads become slippery, traffic becomes slow, and sometimes clothes get wet. Heavy rain can also cause problems like flooding. So for me, rain is nice only when it doesn't disturb daily life too much.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, let's talk about cold weather. Cold weather usually comes with winter, and it changes our lifestyle completely. When it is cold, I like to wear warm clothes like sweaters, jackets, and scarves. I enjoy drinking hot drinks such as tea, coffee, or soup. Cold weather makes me want to stay inside and feel comfortable. However, very cold weather can also be difficult. My hands feel cold, my nose feels dry, and sometimes it becomes hard to wake up early in the morning.
Cold weather has both good and bad sides for me too. I enjoy cool mornings because they make me feel fresh and awake. Cold air feels clean and breathing feels easier compared to very hot weather. But when it becomes extremely cold, it affects my body. My joints feel stiff and I don't feel like moving much. Also, cold weather often comes with short days and long nights, which can make people feel less energetic. Still, winter has its own beauty, especially when everything looks calm and quiet.
Absolutely. Another interesting type of weather is cloudy weather. Cloudy days are neither sunny nor rainy, and they feel very neutral. Sometimes cloudy weather feels boring, but sometimes it feels comfortable. When the sky is covered with clouds, the light becomes soft and there are no strong shadows. I find cloudy weather perfect for working, studying, or doing indoor activities. It doesn't make me too excited or too tired. It just feels steady and calm.
Cloudy weather is actually my favorite for long walks. The temperature is usually comfortable and the sun is not too strong. I don't feel the need to hurry, and I can walk for a long time without feeling tired. However, if cloudy weather lasts for many days, it can start to feel dull. People often miss the sun after a while. I think variety in weather is important. If every day feels the same, life can start to feel boring.
That's a very good point. Weather also affects our plans and decisions. For example, before planning a trip, we always check the weather forecast. If the forecast says it will rain, we might cancel outdoor plans. If it says the weather will be pleasant, we feel more excited. Weather forecasts have become very important in modern life. With phones and apps, we can check the weather anytime. This helps us prepare mentally and physically for the day ahead.
Yes, weather forecasts help a lot, but they are not always accurate. Sometimes the forecast says it will be sunny, but suddenly it starts raining. That can be frustrating. Still, I like checking the weather in the morning. It helps me decide what to wear and how to plan my day. For example, if it's going to be hot, I choose light clothes. If it's going to rain, I carry an umbrella. Weather awareness has become a normal part of daily routine.
Another interesting thing is how weather is connected to culture and language. Many expressions in English are related to weather. For example, people say feeling under the weather when they are sick, or every cloud has a silver lining to talk about hope. These expressions show how deeply weather is connected to human experience. Learning weather-related words and expressions is very useful for English learners because they appear often in conversations.
That's very true, Susan. Weather vocabulary is one of the first things language learners usually study because it is practical and easy to use. Words like hot, cold, rainy, sunny, windy, and cloudy are simple but very powerful. Once you know these words, you can already start many conversations. Also, talking about weather doesn't require personal or private information, so it feels safe and comfortable, especially for beginners.
Exactly. Weather is a safe topic, a friendly topic, and a universal topic. No matter where you are from, you understand weather. Even people with different cultures, languages, and lifestyles can connect through talking about weather. That is why we are spending time on this topic today. It is simple, but it is also very deep. And there is still so much more to talk about, like seasonal changes, extreme weather, and how weather affects our emotions even deeply.
Yes, and I think it would be really interesting to talk about seasons next, because each season brings different weather patterns and different feelings. For example, spring feels very different from winter, and summer feels very different from autumn. Each season has its own mood, colors, and atmosphere. Talking about seasons also helps learners describe time, change, and feelings in a very natural way, and I think that can help people become more confident when speaking English.
Yes, Mark. Talking about seasons really helps people understand weather in a deeper and more emotional way. Let me continue by focusing on spring, because spring often feels like a fresh beginning in many parts of the world. During spring, the weather slowly becomes warmer, flowers start to bloom, and trees turn green again. I personally feel more hopeful during spring. The air feels lighter, and people seem more active and positive. Spring weather is usually not too hot and not too cold, which makes it comfortable for walking outside. Even the rain in spring feels special. It feels soft and refreshing, like nature is waking up after a long sleep.
I really like how you describe spring, Susan. For me, spring weather also brings a strong feeling of change and new energy. I notice that mornings feel brighter and the days start becoming longer. The temperature is pleasant, so I don't need very heavy clothes anymore. I enjoy opening the windows and letting fresh air come inside. Spring weather also increases motivation. People feel inspired to clean their homes, start new habits, or learn something new. Even the smell of the air feels different in spring, and that small change has a very positive effect on mood.
Now let's move forward and talk about summer, because summer weather is very strong and intense compared to other seasons. Summer usually means high temperatures, bright sunlight, and long days. The sun rises early and sets late, giving us many hours of daylight. Some people love summer because they can travel, go to the beach, or enjoy outdoor activities. Personally, I enjoy summer mornings and evenings the most. During the middle of the day, extreme heat can feel uncomfortable. Hot weather can make people feel tired, slow, and less energetic.
I completely understand that feeling.
Summer weather can be both enjoyable and exhausting at the same time. When temperatures rise too much, even simple tasks start to feel difficult. Walking outside, cooking food, or sleeping at night can become uncomfortable. That's why staying hydrated is very important in summer. Drinking enough water helps the body stay cool. I also prefer light meals and loose clothing during hot weather. Summer teaches us how to adapt and listen to our body's needs more carefully.
After summer, the weather usually changes again, and we enter autumn, which is also called fall in many countries. Autumn weather feels calm and gentle to me. The temperature starts to drop slowly, and the air becomes cooler and crisper. Trees change color, and leaves fall to the ground. Autumn weather creates a peaceful atmosphere. I enjoy walking outside and listening to the sound of leaves under my feet. Compared to summer, autumn feels quieter, slower, and more thoughtful.
Autumn is one of my favorite seasons as well. The weather is comfortable, and the sky often looks clear and soft. I enjoy wearing light jackets and drinking warm tea or coffee. Autumn weather encourages balance and reflection. Many people feel more focused during this season because the weather is not extreme. It is a great time for studying, working, and spending calm moments alone. Autumn also prepares us mentally and physically for the colder season that comes next.
That naturally brings us to winter, which can feel very different depending on where you live. In some places, winter means snow, freezing temperatures, and icy roads. In other regions, winter is only slightly cooler. Winter weather changes daily routines. People usually stay indoors more, and social activities become less frequent. I enjoy the comfort of winter, like wearing warm clothes and eating hot food. However, cold weather can also reduce energy levels and motivation.
I feel the same way about winter. The days become shorter and the nights are longer, which affects mood for many people. Winter mornings can feel very quiet and fresh, but extreme cold can be challenging. Movement becomes slower, and lack of sunlight can affect mental health. That's why it's important to take care of ourselves during winter. Even small habits like short walks, light exercise, or sitting near sunlight can make a big difference.
Another important element of weather that people often forget is wind. Windy weather has a strong effect on how we feel temperature. A cool breeze on a hot day feels refreshing, but strong wind on a cold day can feel harsh and uncomfortable. Wind also affects travel and outdoor plans. When the wind is strong, the environment feels more restless. Wind reminds us that weather is not just about heat or cold, but movement as well.
That's a very interesting observation. Wind completely changes how we experience other weather conditions. A sunny but windy day feels very different from a sunny and calm day. Wind dries the air, cools the body, and creates constant motion. Trees move, clothes flutter, and sounds change. Windy weather can feel exciting or uncomfortable depending on the situation. It shows us that weather is a combination of many elements working together.
We should also talk about extreme weather because it has become more common in recent years. Extreme weather includes heat waves, heavy rain, storms, floods, droughts, and strong winds. These conditions can be dangerous and affect many people's lives. Extreme weather turns weather from small talk into a serious issue. It affects safety, health, homes, and resources. These events remind us how powerful nature is and why preparation is important.
Yes, extreme weather has changed how people think about climate and the environment. Today, people pay closer attention to weather alerts and warnings. News channels and weather apps provide constant updates. Extreme heat can cause health problems, while heavy rain can damage roads and houses. These situations show us that weather is not only about comfort, but also about responsibility and awareness.
Weather also influences work, productivity, and emotions. On very hot days, concentration becomes difficult. On rainy or gloomy days, motivation can drop. On pleasant days, people often feel more active and focused. Understanding how weather affects us helps us plan better. Instead of blaming ourselves, we can recognize weather's influence and practice better self-care.
Exactly. Weather awareness helps people understand their own energy levels. It reduces stress and builds patience. Weather is a natural part of life, and learning to adapt instead of fighting it makes daily life easier. This is one reason why weather is such a common topic in everyday conversations.
And this is also why weather is such a useful topic for language learners.
It connects vocabulary, emotions, routines, and social interaction. Learners can practice simple sentences while still having meaningful conversations. Weather is easy to talk about, but never boring. There is still so much more to explore, including how weather affects traditions, food, clothing, and daily habits in different countries. And we can continue exploring this naturally as our conversation moves forward.
Exactly, Susan. And there is still so much more we can explore about weather, especially how it affects traditions, festivals, and daily habits in different countries. Weather shapes lifestyles in ways people don't always notice. From the food people eat to the clothes they wear and even the time they wake up, weather quietly influences daily life. In colder regions, people plan carefully around winter, while in warmer areas, daily routines are shaped by heat and sunlight. When we understand weather, we also begin to understand people better, and that makes conversations deeper and more meaningful.
That's very true, Mark. Weather has a strong influence on culture and social behavior. In colder countries, people build homes to keep warmth inside, and families spend more time indoors during winter months. In warmer countries, homes are designed to allow airflow and stay cool. Even social habits change with weather. In hot places, people may gather in the evening instead of the afternoon. Weather shapes how people live, relax, and connect with others, often without them realizing it.
Weather also affects traditions and festivals in interesting ways. Many festivals are connected to seasons, harvests, rain, or sunlight. For example, some cultures celebrate the arrival of spring because it represents new life and growth. Others celebrate rainy seasons because rain is important for farming. Winter festivals often focus on warmth, light, and togetherness. When people talk about weather, they are often talking about history and tradition at the same time, which adds depth to simple conversations.
Yes, and food choices are another clear example of weather's influence. In cold weather, people often prefer warm, heavy meals like soups and stews. In hot weather, lighter foods and fresh fruits become more popular. Drinks also change with weather. Hot tea or coffee feels comforting in winter, while cold drinks are preferred in summer. Weather quietly guides what people eat every day, and talking about food often leads back to talking about weather naturally.
Weather also has a strong effect on emotions, even when people don't notice it clearly. On sunny days, many people feel more energetic, optimistic, and social. On cloudy or rainy days, emotions may feel slower or heavier. This doesn't mean bad weather is always negative. Rainy days can feel calm and peaceful. They can encourage rest, reflection, or creativity. Understanding how weather affects emotions helps people understand themselves better.
I agree, and this emotional awareness is very important. Many people feel frustrated when they feel tired or unmotivated, but sometimes it's simply the weather influencing their body and mind. Cold and dark days naturally reduce energy, while hot and humid weather can make people feel exhausted. When people accept this, they can adjust their expectations instead of blaming themselves. Weather teaches patience, flexibility, and self-care, which are useful life skills.
Weather also plays a major role in communication. It is often the first topic people use to start conversations because it is safe, neutral, and shared by everyone. Talking about weather helps break silence, especially between strangers. Even simple sentences like, "It's very hot today," or "It looks like rain," can open longer conversations. Weather creates a sense of connection because everyone is experiencing it at the same time.
That's why weather is such a powerful topic for language learners. It allows beginners to practice speaking without fear. Weather sentences are usually simple and repetitive, which helps build confidence. Learners can talk about what they see, how they feel, and what they do in different weather. Even if grammar is not perfect, the meaning is clear. This sense of success motivates learners to keep speaking and improving.
Weather vocabulary is also very practical. Words like sunny, cloudy, rainy, humid, chilly, windy, and stormy are used every day. Learners hear these words often, so they become familiar quickly. Talking about weather helps learners practice describing situations and expressing opinions. It also helps them listen and respond naturally. Because weather is always changing, it provides endless opportunities for practice.
Another important point is how weather connects language with memory. Many strong memories are linked to weather, such as a rainy afternoon, a hot summer holiday, or a cold winter morning. When learners talk about weather, they often remember personal experiences. This emotional connection makes language learning more effective. Language becomes real and personal, not just something from a textbook. That's very true. Weather-based stories are easy to understand and easy to remember. Talking about getting caught in the rain or enjoying a sunny picnic creates clear images. These stories help learners practice descriptive language naturally. Weather gives structure to stories while keeping them simple. Over time, this helps learners build fluency without pressure. When we look at weather this way, it becomes clear that it is much more than forecasts or temperatures. Weather affects mood, routine, culture, communication, and relationships. It is present in our lives every single day. When people learn to talk about weather comfortably, they also learn how to express themselves more naturally in general.
I completely agree. Weather may seem like a simple topic, but it carries great depth. It teaches observation, awareness, and adaptability. Whether someone is learning a new language or simply trying to connect with others, weather offers a familiar and safe starting point. It reminds us that even small topics can lead to meaningful conversations.
I agree, Mark. Weather gives us an easy and natural way to start conversations and express ourselves. By paying attention to it and speaking about it, we become more aware of our surroundings and more confident in communication. Thank you for this thoughtful discussion, and thank you to everyone listening and sharing this moment with us.